All right, welcome to the Half Lit Studio, and hope everyone's having a good day, a good week. The summer's on the way. That is exciting. Summertime, no matter how old you are, it's so beautiful to welcome the summer. So, I'd like to talk about something that might drift into the political a little bit, but hopefully it won't offend. That my mild mannered approach won't offend too many. The word woke. What does it really mean, the word woke, when you say somebody is woke? Well, it's been a highly politicized football being thrown around, whipped around, and beat up. And the word woke has been tossed around so wildly that it's almost forgotten its roots, I think. At the heart, it's a simple human necessity. To be woke is to be, I think, to be awake to the world, to the parts that hurt, to the people that hurt, to the minorities that hurt. Who's hurting in society? Let's pay attention. Let's be awake to those things. And it's been so twisted politically, I think. Long before it became a political football, woke meant something tender and courageous. It meant paying attention. It meant noticing when somebody is being treated unfairly. Uh, you know, if you're a student in school and you see somebody getting bullied, don't you feel don't you feel like doing something, but you don't always do something? But it's important, number one, to be awake to these things that are happening, that bullying does exist. So with being woke, at least in the pristine meaning that it's intended, it means not to sleepwalk through life while other burdens go on. It meant keeping your eyes open, even when the truth stings. In that original sense, being woke is nothing more than choosing awareness over comfort. It's that quiet daily practice of seeing people just as they are, not as the stereotypes or shadows. It's listening to the stories that are not your own. It's recognizing the world does not treat everybody equally and deciding that this matters to you. This matters. Something matters to you to fight for, to work for in a democracy that we live in. But somewhere along the way, the word has been twisted, terribly twisted. What began as a call to stay awake became a label used to shut people down. And instead of describing awareness, it became a way to mock people, just to endlessly mock. People began using woke as a weapon, not because the idea itself was harmful, but because awareness can be uncomfortable. It asks something of us. It asks us to look at our assumptions, our histories, our blind spots. And not everyone wants to do that. They don't want to do the work involved, and it's easy to sit back and take shots at all the liberal extremists out there, right? There are extremes on both sides. That's for sure. I'm not denying that. People twist the word woke in weird ways on both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the political spectrum. So the word was stretched, it was distorted, thrown back as an insult. Suddenly being awake was framed as being extreme. Somehow it made that pivot. When did that? I think we have our politicians to blame for that pivot. Caring too much became a flaw. So how does that come about? So those are some things to think about. The word woke, when you think of the word woke, do you think of staying awake to the suffering of others, staying awake to the ways we can do better, staying awake to our true history and owning up to our deficiencies as a country? Staying awake to the truth that kindness is not passive and it's chosen? Or does woke to you mean just these crazy extremists that are stretching it all out of proportion? So being woke is not necessarily political, but it was made to be political. That's what I think. And that's my essay for today on being woke. If you have any comments, throw them down on the comments right down below. And if you'd like to subscribe, I do have a poetry podcast. We have Josiah Zabel coming up. He's an excellent writer, and he's going to talk about the art of kennings on our June show. So stay awake and have a great rest of your day.